these rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, it's these rocky shores where I long to be. Yes, it's these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Whenever I leave here, it hurts me so, with tears in my eyes. Oh, I hate to go. There ain't no work, and the kids need new clothes. The bills need paying, so off I must go.
These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores is where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they're home to me.
I think to myself, where did it all go? The life I once had on the ocean's gentle road. With tears in my eyes and my head in my hands, away from my family, I hope they understand.
That is these rocky shores where I call home, is where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Good evening and welcome to this week in review. Tonight's stories include
Take.
these stories plus community events, BBS Playbill, Off the Rack and more. Coming up in just a moment.
There's an island, of course, and over 10,000 miles of coastline, raised up in sunshine and storm. Thousands of islands, coves, guts, and bays, with a strange and startling beauty. It's a land that lives by the sea.
On Friday, January 15th, we visited the Wildlife Warehouse to get the scoop on the Jawbone project. Wildlife Officer Eugene Ball took us through the steps.
Okay, this year in Burjo, the Wildlife Division has taken a major role in the analysis of jawbone or jawbone aging. We've hired two people, Donnie Benoit and Wade Warren, to do this study. Marie asked us if she could come up and just see what everything was all about. Well, I did too. So basically what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go through the different age classes, give you some idea of how we would do the wear aging, and basically then we're going to go through all the necessary steps right down from the data sheets through to the extracting of the teeth and the recording of all the information. Okay? So this first jawbone is a calf, basically, and we can tell that this is a calf by the size of the front teeth. Okay? These teeth are milk teeth. Also, the molar row, which is located right here, the molar row is extremely short, and the teeth are new, basically. Okay? The next animal that I'm going to show you would be a yearling. Okay, this animal here is a yearling that was shot probably early in the season. If you look close right there, you'll notice that the top teeth are ready to fall off, and there's brand new ones just coming up in underneath. You can take them and actually pluck them right out. Okay? And this is what you'll end up with. If you look, those teeth here have just started to come up. They're brand new teeth. Okay? The moose would lose the first 3 teeth in the first year. The next one is a yearling that was shot a little bit later in the season. As you can tell, if you compare those teeth right here with those are already up. The milk teeth are fully extended, or pretty much anyway. And this animal here was probably shot later in the year, given the size and how high up the teeth are. And you also notice that those teeth are extremely white, okay, which would tell you that they're new, okay. So that's a yearling that was shot early. This is the calf. The next one, I'm going to compare this yearling here with a 2-year-old animal, if I can find one. Okay, this next one is a 2-year-old. Okay, if you notice this tooth right here, okay, there's just a little bit of wear off the top, and it's worn on a hang-up. Compared to this one here, it's still white, there's nothing gone. Okay, all the 2-year-old animals got that mark right there, the same way. Okay, and also if you look back here at the last tooth back, there's a little bit of wear on that as well. Okay, so this here would also be a 2-year-old animal, or 2.5-year-old. Okay, and anyway, this continues on up the line. When you get a 3-year-old animal, basically the top would be worn off of that tooth there altogether. Just line them up here. Okay, just a little bit of wear on that one. That one there is wore level. Okay, and there's more wear back on the last tooth back. So this here would be a 3-year-old animal. Okay, and then eventually that'll keep on going up the line. They get older and older as you go up. This jawbone here, if you look, is wore down a fair bit. This one here will probably be about 6 or 7 years old, because this is a older moose. Okay, and so on until you get up to something that's a bit extreme like this one. Okay, if you look at those teeth here, they're almost wore right down. Basically what happened, after a moose gets so old, those teeth here will be wore right down into the gum line. The animal wouldn't be able to chew up its food properly because the teeth are probably most all gone. And eventually what would happen is the animal would get poor and starve to death. Okay? So that's just a rough idea of what happens. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through the process of the aging, the recording of the information, and just show you a few little things that we're doing up here. Okay? We're collecting jawbones right from St. Anthony down to Pasadena, Port Bass area, all across Newfoundland. This here is a chart. If you're not real familiar with wear aging the animals, this here would be a chart that we'd use with codes on it. Okay? So if someone's not real familiar with it, you take the jawbone, compare it to those there, and pick the one that matches, basically. Okay? Wear aging is relatively accurate when you're dealing with younger animals. Okay? With yearlings, we're 100% positive because you got the tree white teeth. With a calf, same thing. We're 100% positive that it is a calf. Sorry, because you got your milk teeth. Okay. When you get up to the older animals, it's harder to tell. It's more or less an estimate, but we can come within a year or two. Okay. So the older the animal, the harder it is to wear aging. I'm going to call my assistant there now to come over, Donnie. Okay, what we're going to do, we're just going to do a couple of jawbones. This is basically what would happen from the time that a jawbone would come in right up to the time that the teeth are extracted. The first thing we do is read off the license number off the jaw tag for moose for this year, this hunting season. Donnie would record that on a data sheet right over here. Basically the number is 03750. So he'd mark that down on the paper right here. Okay? We'd also do a total measurement, and our total measurement is going to be from here to the bottom of the teeth in millimeters. Okay? And that information also would be recorded. So this one here is 429 millimeters. Okay, after the total measurement is done, we do a measurement from this tooth here up to this one, which is called the diagonal measurement, from here to there. Okay? And that one is going to be 144 millimeters. And we'd also do the molar length. This is the molars right there, so we get a measurement from this point back to the end of the teeth. And this one would be 170 millimeters. Okay? I'd also wear age the animal. In this case, this animal here, because of the three brand new white teeth, like I explained earlier, this will be a yearling. Donnie would code that as a 1. Okay, I'll put it on the chart. This would be a number 1. Because we're absolutely sure that it is a yearling, there's no need to take any more information off this jawbone, so we can actually discard this jawbone. So this one would be just basically thrown in the dump. Okay? Now, so we just continue on with the same process. We call off the license number, 07404. We take our total measurement, it's 410. We take the diagonal measurement, which would be 140, and the molar measurement, which is 160. And I'd wear age it as a 2-year-old animal, or 2.5. So the code would be 2. Okay? Donnie would then take this information, the license number, and he'd mark that right on the envelope. And he'd also put, he got the license number marked down off the tag number, and he also got the code right there, marked in the top right hand corner. This jawbone then would be taken, and we drop it into this vat right there. Okay, we just drop it into here. This is filled with water, not filled right off, but we got water there. We take this envelope. Okay, then we take the envelope and we just lay it on the table right here in the corner. We'd have the envelope matching the location of the jawbone in the vat, basically. Okay, so that we wouldn't get the teeth mixed up with the round envelopes when we extract them. So basically that's what we do. You want some?
Yeah, okay.
The jawbones have been balling there for approximately 20 to 25 minutes. We take the jawbone. These here should be done, by the way. And we take those tools and we'd extract 2 teeth. Okay, the 2 front middle teeth. We just twist, pull them out. Donnie would then take those teeth. Okay, we take 2. The reason for taking 2 is that if we mess one up when we grind it down to do the microscopic aging, we wouldn't have nothing to fall back on. So if you take 2, very unlikely you're going to ruin 2 teeth. Once that's done, the 2 teeth have been extracted. This jawbone's ready for the garbage. Okay, so we just throw it in a junk pile. Now Donnie's going to demonstrate how we would actually take just end of those teeth. Okay. Basically, when the teeth are pulled out, the gums and stuff like that are still left on them. So he's going to demonstrate basically how we remove the gums and stuff, and he's going to just get rid of that stuff. Right?
Finished product.
You want to take them?
We'll put them in the proper envelope, we'll seal them, and drop them in our bucket.
Gets all the gums off and gets cleaned up. They're put in envelopes. Donnie just demonstrated. All those envelopes are teeth that basically have been done in jawbones that have been done in Virgil. Each one of those envelopes contains 2 teeth. Okay. This is all sent to St. John's. Once this information, along with the data sheets that are over there, once they that'll go to St. John's with the teeth. Once that's sent in to St. John's, that'll be all logged into a computer, and then those teeth will be taken out in envelopes and grinded down. Okay? And I'll just demonstrate what they would do roughly when they get them into the lab. So just open the envelope, take out 1 tooth, and they'd use a better or proper grinder, but I'll just try this one. Okay? Okay, this is basically what you're going to end up with. Something that looks like this here, okay? There's a cavity up through the middle part of the tooth. And each year of a moose's life, except for the first year there's 2 layers of cementum deposited on the outside of this cavity, or the nerve actually. Then every year after that, every winter after that, there's 1 layer. The layers would, under a microscope, would appear as lines, okay, in the tooth. So if this moose had, if this tooth had 4 lines, it would be 3 years old. Basically, that's how it works. And that is an accurate age for that animal, basically, right? The same as a tree. Every year there's rings, okay? So that's basically what happens. Then once all the teeth are analyzed under a microscope, okay, such as this one, and all the teeth are done for that year, the successful moose hunter badges would be sent out in the mail to every successful one who deposited their jawbone to the wildlife division. Okay, so that's basically the whole process. All this information is used to give basically age populations of what animals that were shot in certain areas. The measurements are used to basically take all the average, say all the average animals or the age of animals from area 19 and compare them to other areas, see if the total measurements and the diagonal measurements are similar. If there's a drastic difference, it could be that the food supply is scarce in one area, it could mean that there's a disease in one area, and if there was a drastic difference, then basically what would happen is there would be a little investigation launched just to find out what the problem is and why those animals are not growing as big in Virgil as they are in, say, Rocky Arbor up in that area. Okay, so that's just some of the stuff that you use the information for. Okay? So that's
So it's important to send in your jawbones then?
it's very important. This is what we would use actually in determining how many licenses will be issued. If people don't send them in to St. John's, it looks like there's not a lot of animals being killed, and they might cut the quotas. So if you return your jawbone, if everybody returned their jawbone and their license returns, in they'd have a more accurate estimation of how many animals in a particular area or the age group.
So you're getting a good turnout of jawbones back?
Yes, yeah, we've done approximately about 4,000 down there, roughly.
And that's from all over?
That's from Western Newfoundland. Okay, all in wide there's probably about 20,000, something like that. That's the whole island of Newfoundland. A lot of the jawbones that are returned each year are in poor condition. This is an example, basically, right here. You just look at all the meat that's left on it. In those particular cases, if they're extremely bad, like this one, you get maggots and stuff like that. The jawbone is usually discarded. Okay. I got one other example here. This is a poor job of cleaning your jawbone. Okay. You can see all the hair and everything's left on the animal, and it's extremely inconvenient to deal with. All right. There's a line in by the garage each year for people of Burgeo and Randy and surrounding areas to just hang their jawbones on. It's a good idea not to put them in plastic. Okay. When they're put in plastic, that maggots and stuff like that basically be all over them. Okay, and it could ruin several other jawbones as well. So if anybody's ever wondering why you don't get a crest back sometimes, a lot of the reason could be that the jawbone might have been in real bad shape. Okay, it wouldn't clean properly and stuff like that. All right. Now I'm going to just show you an example of a perfect one. This one was in on the line in the garage. I don't know who put it there, but you might recognize it if you're watching. This is a perfect job. Okay. In fact, we saw this one off. We're going to keep it for display. Okay, this is a perfect job. Now we don't need them all this clean, but when they are, it makes it a lot easier for us. Okay. I'm just going to get a couple more. Even those two here, these are pretty good. There's nothing wrong with that, right? If they were all that good, it wouldn't be any problem. But the problem occurs when you get something like that there. That's the problem. Okay, I'm not starting. This one here won't be aged. Okay, whoever send this in, they won't get a crest. All right. So they got to be half decent clean in order to get the measurements back here and stuff like that. So if anybody's ever wondering why they didn't get a crest, the old way we used to do it, we used to have a box made, and if somebody threw one jawbone in like that, it could ruin every jawbone in that box. Now we tried to solve that problem by putting up a line so that you can hang them and they don't come in contact with each other. So one like this wouldn't ruin the rest of them, but that's a lot of the reason why sometimes people don't get their crest. So if you really want a crest, do a half decent job when you take out your jawbone and clean it up the best manner you can. Okay?
When local trapper Norman Strickland went to check his fox snares on Thursday, January 21st, he got quite a surprise.
Trap sit for a fox like you normally would, and I've been catching a few foxes in the area, and when I went in today and checked my traps, I had a surprise waiting for me. It was a female coyote. Coyote, I guess she weighs about 40 pounds, or probably a little better. I haven't seen any tracks of coyotes in the area, although I saw 2 tracks further in the road this summer. I had to dispatch it with a stick. It was really hard to kill, but it is the first one that's been caught here in Burgeo. I understand there's one more caught in Grey River this year.
Yeah, I guess the adrenaline was pumping when you went to the trap.
Really pumping, pumping.
So did you think it was a coyote first?
I was scared at first I might have had somebody's German Shepherd dog, because it looked a lot bigger when I saw it than it does now when it's dead. But when I got up close, I realized it was a coyote.
Yeah.
before I killed him.
So I guess that means now you're a top-notch trapper, does it?
I wouldn't go that far to say.
Oh, I thought that was the saying amongst the trappers. If you caught a coyote, that meant you was a top-notch trapper.
But it really feels good to
I'm sure,
catch
yeah.
the first one down there.
Yes, it certainly is, yeah. And it's certainly a nice animal. So what do you intend to do with it now?
I'm planning on getting it mounted for souvenir purposes.
Oh, very good. Well, thanks for phoning us and let us know.
Okay, thanks, Marie.
You're welcome. Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review coming up after this.
In a scene from prehistory, still fjords run deep, hemmed in by giant granite walls, carved by volcanoes, tectonic upheaval, 20 times as old as the Rockies. Our park. Imagine that.
The Anglican Church project is just about complete. Lloyd Skinner, along with foreman Mike Lushman and his workers, invited me up to the church to take a look at all the work that they have done. The project will be finished on Thursday, January 28th. The project employs 8 workers. Some major repairs have been done to the outside of the building. The workers removed and repaired rot on both sides and the inn. A total of 14 new windows have been installed. Different groups and individuals in the congregation generously donated the windows in memory of loved ones. Because of these donations, it cut down on the funding the church had to pay, and this meant more work could be done. New siding was put on both sides as well as the inn. Some of the eaves were repaired and some were replaced where needed. 80 feet of the main frame, or sleeper as some people call it, had to be replaced because of rot. The basement door also had to be replaced. Inside the church, drywall had been put up and given 2 coats of paint. All 14 windows had been faced and stained. The ceiling has received a few touch-up jobs. The large ceiling supports have been painted. The support rods have been removed and repaired so that they can't be seen from the outside of the building. The workers have installed a new videotape case that was donated. I would like to add that each window has a small plate put under it stating who donated the window and who it is in memory of. The workers have done some work in the parish hall as well, mostly to the kitchen and the tea room. Panel board has been put halfway around the tea room, and the existing panel board has received a new coat of paint. Bordering has been added to finish the look. A closet has been built to hide the water tank and to provide more storage. Pictures have been hung on the wall to give the room a pleasing look. New lights have been also put in the tea room. The kitchen has been given some new wallboard as well, and the same bordering as the tea room. New lights has been installed in here as well. The workers have done some odd jobs as well. For example, they've cleaned and waxed the parish hall floor, painted all the tables, made new tables for the tea room, installed a new fire exit door, repaired the wheelchair ramp, and carried out a few odd jobs at the rectory. During the last week of work, the workers will be doing a major clean-up of the church and the parish hall and finishing the bordering to the parish hall kitchen. The property committee and the vestry are very pleased with the work done to both buildings. They would like to thank Mike Lushman and his workers for keeping within the budget set for them, and to let it be known that these 8 workers are a wonderful bunch of men. Foreman Mike is also very pleased with all the work done and said it was a pleasure to work with these men. Now over to Mayor Ann with the council report.
Good evening. I have an update on our regular meeting held on January the 20th, 1999. Council held its regular meeting. It was a rather lengthy meeting. It convened at 7 p.m. and didn't adjourn until 11:05. One item up for discussion was the Education Recreation Complex. This came in for a very lengthy discussion. As you know, that I guess since the last time I reported to you, the money has been allocated for the school, part of the complex. However, there have been no allocation so far for the recreation part of it. When the original proposal was put forth and the feasibility study was done by Atlantic Engineering, the study was done for a school without a gymnasium. Now, there seems to be there is a lot of support that the school must have a gymnasium. This was run by our MHA, Mr. Bill Ramsey, and that do change the old thing to somewhat, because if the Minister of Municipal Affairs and the other players was briefed on the premise that the new school would not have a gym. So therefore that puts us back to we don't know where, and as you know, there's election in progress, and in fact by the time you get this report I'm giving you this evening, it is quite possible that Mr. Ramsey may not even be our member anymore. So therefore it looks as if we're almost back to square one there. However, at last night's meeting, we did go through one thing and the other, and after very much discussion, it was agreed that we would submit an application under the Capital Works program for an arena for Burgeo. The reason for that is these applications were supposed to be in some weeks ago. However, we did have a delay until February the 1st. So therefore we have, or we will be submitting an application for funding for an arena for Burgeo. However, just if that funding is approved, and I would emphasize the if, and also if we should decide to proceed with it, whether it would be going on the school complex or not is another question. In the first original feasibility study, site preparation was estimated at $450,000. I personally feel that if we should go ahead with an arena in the same area where the old arena is, it certainly wouldn't take $450,000 to prepare that site. But that's where we stand. An application has been submitted. However, we are not compelled to accept the funding if it is approved. And I can assure you that before Council will be accepting any more loans or dip charges for an arena, all the cards will be put on the table to the people of Burgeo. What will our dip charges increase by? I would estimate the dip charges just for the building of a facility would run in the range of $100,000 per year. The operation of a rink, I guess you would be talking maybe another $75,000 or $100,000 per year. So therefore, the people of Burgeo would really be consulted to ensure that they would want to take on that burden. So the results of our deliberations last night is that an application has been filed. However, there had been no decision to accept the funding, even if it is made available to us. Ownership of the Burgeo Hospital. Ever since, I guess, late September or early October, this town has been trying to get some information as to who owns the Calder Health Care Center. We waited and waited, and finally we got a letter from the administrator of the Realty Division of Work Services and Transportation, and all he came back to us was that the land on which the hospital is erected is leased to the developer. Well, that more than ever led us to believe that if the land is leased to a developer, then the facility is not owned by the provincial government. So therefore, we went back with him again, We advised him we were tired of being given the runaround and asked him quite clearly who owns the Calder Health Care Centre and what was their address. He has responded to that by saying that our request has been sent to the Department of Justice to prepare a reply for us. This more than ever convinces us that the Calder Health Care Centre is privately owned. We, in addition to his reply that he is having the Department of Justice respond to us, are now consulting a lawyer in St. John's to see if somehow they can go through the Registry of Deeds or hunt up some information, maybe even through the Public Accounts Committee, whereby we will find out who owns the Calder Health Care Centre. And if it's government owned, then fine and dandy. But if it's not, then it is up for taxation just like any other private piece of property within this municipality would be. Mr. Jerry Locke from the Department of Municipal Affairs is due to visit our town this week and check into our water system and prepare a report for us as to what would possibly be required to overcome the discoloration problem which we have with our water. So Council is sort of looking forward to that report. And just as an update, the last time when I spoke to you, I said the put-through water was 710 gallons per minute. It have now jumped to 850 gallons per minute, so we're certainly doing good in that regard. Our fish plant is still progressing, in my opinion. On January the 27th, 5 or 6 members of the Burgeo Action Committee, we will be proceeding to St. John's. We have meetings on Wednesday morning, January the 27th, with Mr. Joe Price, the Director General of Fisheries and Oceans, Mr. Max Short, Advisor to the Federal Minister of Fisheries, and Mr. Wayne Follett, I believe he's head of enforcement. We will be meeting with these 3 people at 9 o'clock, January the 27th, and at 11 o'clock we will be meeting with Mr. John Efford. I'm very optimistic. I have no reason not to be. I have not been given anything to indicate that in the end we are going to come up with a crab resource for Burgeo. However, again I say, until the I is dotted and the T is crossed, then the deal is not done. Just before coming over here, I had a call from Mr. Bill Barry. Mr. Barry has been in China for the last 2 weeks. He came back today. He got back to a request which I had into him immediately. He assured me that he'll be there on Wednesday morning as well to join in the meetings with us. He has every intention of being in Burgeo as soon as the deal is done. He estimates maybe 4 months to get the plant ready for production. But that's just his layman's estimate. He said he doesn't really understand all the engineering and refrigeration thing. And I advised him that Ramya was in on the deal as well right now. He said he didn't have any problem with that. He wished there was enough resource out there to open every closed plant in Newfoundland. However, he said for 1999, his top priority is Burgeo. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're getting it just like I got it. Another item for some discussion during our meeting was our town square and the consultation process that is going on there. And that, as far as I could ascertain, the committee will have their letters out to the directly affected people. There will be a formal notice going in the paper to solicit comments. I just want to make one comment on this thing, that this moving of the Cape Royal monument from its present location to the town square is not just a whim of mine. There have been innuendos that that's exactly what it is, but this first came up at a meeting of council at the same time that the Siemens monument was being erected. One of our councillors said this would be a good time to now move the monument up there. However, council at that time felt that we should hold off a bit and consult with the public before moving in that area. So that's what we've been doing. I do support it 100%, I'll certainly say that. However, this has been town generated. The citizens of Burgeo did generate this interest, and the comments have come into different councillors regarding the moving of the Cape Royal Monument and the upgrading of the town square. However, I want to assure everybody, there have been no decision made on it. Councillors will make the decision when the proper information is before us. We will decide whether to proceed and try and negotiate the movement with the cemetery committee, with National Sea and whoever is involved. If it is a decision of council that we forget the old thing right there, then you can be assured that's exactly what will happen. I've got no axe to grind there. I'm just bringing something that was citizen generated, brought before our council, and it will be dealt with in a democratic manner, as all items at council are dealt with. There were several letters of personal concerns discussed at our meeting. There's no need of going into those, as they would only pertain to the persons directly involved. Snow clearing, just like to put some of the points forward on our snow clearing. We still feel that we have probably as good or better snow clearing than any town in Newfoundland. We are trying to do it as cheaply as we can. Sometimes there may be a delay, some inconvenience, but the delay and the inconvenience really is in the interest of saving tax dollars, and tax dollars which we certainly do not have. Invoices to council to the December the 31st in the amount of $8,388.41 was given approval for payment. Now, our main item of concern at that meeting was our budget for the year 1999. The figures were pushed around. We worked on them the best we could to try keep taxes down, and I think we did a fairly good or a commendable job in doing that. The town has a revenue. Our budget for 1999 shows a revenue of $960,123 and an expenditure of the same amount. That may sound like a lot of money, but we have debt charges. Just servicing the debts of the town is $603,335,000. So then you come back with, just after you've taken care of all of your bank loans and so on, so now you got yourself cut down from almost $1 million to approximately $356,000. You go down through, and when you see administration of $110,000, you know, in fact, all the details of the budget will be published in the Southwest Times, so you can go down through them yourself. But the final figure is that we've got $42,000 to play with after meeting, you know, the expenses that must be met, the ones that, you know, you just can't change. You've got $42,000 to operate the town on for 12 months. $42,000 is not a lot of money. So I think it goes without saying that your town this year, you won't see too much work going ahead, and it'll more or less be just housekeeping, maintenance, and just enough to keep things going. However, there was some changes in, I wouldn't call it exactly tax changes, not to affect our general populace anyway. And I just tell you, just run through, we did manage to come up with some additional money to even get us even close to a balanced budget for this year. In the past, there's been a $15 discount given to old age pensioners off their taxes. This practice will be discontinued. Now, that's not a good thing to do, and we realize that, but you know, it's not a big hardship of $15, and we felt it would be a whole lot better to discontinue this discount rather than having to get on to having to increase the mill rate or the water rate or something of that nature. So even though we'll only pick up $1,750, it's what you call every little bit helps. So we will generate $1,750, it's estimated, extra revenue there. The water rates for the schools will be changed from the present system of $75 per school per month. And we'll go more or less along the lines of the Port aux Basques Board, who charges 50 cents per 1,000 gallons of water. And the way they come up with that is it's based on 100 gallons per person per day for a 190-day school year. So for every 10 students, we estimate 1,000 gallons of water put through, and we charge 50 cents for it. This will give us an extra revenue of $1,477.50. The cost of supplying water to the ferries will be increased from $50 per fill to $200 per fill. This may seem like quite a big jump, but we checked around, and the one that seemed to be the most suitable and would correspond to us would be the Belle Island Ferry. And that supplied water from the town of St. Philip's, Portugal Cove. They charge $200 per fill plus $75 labor. So we thought that we would drop the labor charge, as our employee doesn't have to travel that far, and we would just charge the $200 per fill. It is estimated that this will generate $5,800 of extra revenue. We will be charging a $25 fee for tax certificates and compliance letters. Now, most all towns charge this, and our town in the past haven't been charging anything. Now, a tax certificate is, let's say you sell your property. Usually the person or the real estate agent buying that property will want a certificate verifying that there is no lien, no taxes on that property. And in the past, the town has been granting that certificate free. Well, now there'd be a $25 charge. The compliance letter is to ensure that a piece of property complies with the zoning in which it is located, so that you are complying with town bylaws and so on. That also will be charged $25. And we're estimating that that would generate $500 of revenue. The water and sewer rate for the hospital will be changed from the present system of $232 per month to a rate of $15 per month per unit. And the way that works is we check with other hospitals, and we'll be in line with them as a result of this. A unit is what you call, like, let's say there's a bathroom, a sink, tub, and toilet. That would be called a unit. So therefore there would be we would charge $15 for that unit. On that assumption, it's been checked, and I believe there's 40-odd units at the Calder Healthcare Center. So it is estimated that that will generate $4,776 of extra revenue. Another thing which the town encounters quite often is people wanting their water shut off so that they may not have to pay the monthly rate. In other words, if they leave, they leave their property for only a month, or maybe even a few weeks, they want their water shut off, and then when they come back, they want a rebate for the water which they didn't consume. Well, you know, this is a bit cumbersome, and we checked around, and I don't think there's any other town doing that. In fact, there's a lot of towns that the water rate is a tax, and even if you're not even hooked up to it, it passes your property, and the water is available there. Then you've got to pay your water rate anyway. So as a result of that, anyone who wishes to have their water shut off so that they can have a tax saving or a water rate saving will have to pay $50 to be reconnected. And there will only be, in other words, there would not be any credit given on the sewer rate anyway. It would only be on the water rate because we got no way of shutting off your sewer. So what this all amounts to is that in future, if you're leaving your home for a period up to 4 months, it is going to be more profitable for you to leave your water turned on. However, if for safety's sake, you know, you're afraid that your lines are going to break or something like that, you want your water turned off, there's no problem there. You just continue right on. We'll come and shut it off. You continue paying it, and when you come back, we'll come and turn it back on for you. However, like I say, if you're gone for over 4 weeks and you want it shut off to realize a saving, then when you do come back or want it reconnected to there, you will have to pay a $50 fee. And it is estimated that we would generate an extra $2,500 from this. So in total, through those little changes which we've made, excuse me, extra changes we've made, we generated $16,803.50 of extra revenue for the town, without, we thought, impacting very severely on our residents. Also, the municipal operating grant, the government had a second look at that and didn't cut it as much as it would, so we saved $12,000 there. So when it all got put together, we're hoping that we can get through this year 1999 without too much problems. However, if we do run into a lot of problems, then I guess we will be into trouble. And another thing, there's been quite a few changes made to the Municipalities Act. I believe quite a few of them will be going into the Southwest Times, so you can read them and see what the changes are for yourself. There's one which is of a particular interest to us, and that is the one whereby a grant is paid in lieu of property. In other words, the best example I can give is the homes here owned by the RCMP. They don't pay taxes, property tax, but they pay a grant in lieu of taxes. And under the old Municipalities Act, we could not collect a poll tax from the RCMP. Well, the free ride is over. Starting in 1999, even people living on that property will have to start paying the poll tax. So that's about it for council news for another week. Another subject I just like to advise the people of Burjo on, and this has nothing to do with council or the Rec Commission or anything else or anything. It's just something that's sprung up this week, and I haven't got a lot of information on it. And that is the one about, you know, that it seems as if we're going to have to, all us boat owners, power boat owners now is going to have to shuck out $30 so that someone can come and tell us how to use a boat. And I personally take a strong exception to this. I've been using boats ever since I guess I was 10, 12 years old. And now someone's going to come and I've got to go to school, pay $30 and get certified to say I knows how to use a boat. Well, I certainly don't agree with it. And I don't know how many people out there do. I haven't got the time on my hands to really take on this fight. But I think that there must be someone out there who would be as concerned as I am about this. We're registering our guns. You can practically do nothing today. And now you're going to have to get yourself a going to pay $30 certificate for some fellow to come around and start lecturing us on how to use a boat. And I believe in safety, but I'll guarantee you I certainly do not support this. And I would like to see somebody out in Burgeo with a bit of time on their hands now, a boat owner, who's really concerned. Take this project on and give it a good fight. I know if I didn't have so many irons in the fire, that I'd certainly take that fight on. Anyway, that's it for me. Good night.
Stay with us for Off the Rack, community events, and the BBS Playbill, all after this.
Houses of yellow, lime, aqua, and blue, and the world's most friendly folk, as proud to show their true colors as the street they call Jelly Bean Row. Imagine that.
Off the Rack. This week as we scanned our tape rack, we came across a tape of the Burgeo Volunteer Fire Department carrying out a training drill, and some shots of the firefighters helping with the Ramia school fire. Let's look back to June 19, 1994.
To firefighting, this gear is also used on drills such as this training drill held a little while ago. The Burgeo the Ramia school fire in November. The firefighters wearing the yellow coats are members of the Burgeo Volunteer Fire Department.
Good evening and welcome to the community event segment of tonight's broadcast. I'm Linda Green. LOB Hay are selling tickets and a basket of towels. If you would like to have a ticket, please contact any member of the LOBA. Do you have a child who will be 4 years old by December the 31st, 1999, and are interested in having your child attend a preschool program in October 1999? To enroll, please contact the elementary school at 886-2543 or Michelle Mercer at 886-1212. The Gardens are selling balloons again this year. If you would like to send one to someone special in your life, contact any member of the Gardening movement. Balloons are $1 each and it has to be paid for in advance. Deadline to order is Monday, February the 8th. Winners at the Help Committee Greg Class Bingo were Joanne Bellard, Janet Domine, Corman Skinner, Elsie Rose, and Liz Scott. Congratulations to you all. The Family Resource Center will reopen Monday, January 25th. If you would like to have your child attend, hours are as follows. Monday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, and Tuesdays and Thursday evenings from 1 to 3 p.m. If your group or organization has an upcoming event plan, we will be happy to advertise it for you. You can contact the BBS office by Wednesday of each week to have items included in this portion of our broadcast. That concludes the community event segment of tonight's program. See you next week.
BBS Playbill. Tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for a rebroadcast of Pansy's Garden. The next scheduled TV bingo is for Wednesday, February the 3rd. Be sure to watch this channel on Wednesday for a snowmobile safety video from the Ground Search and Rescue. On Thursday, we will have a rebroadcast of the bandwagon. Join Pansy and the gang for 2 stories, a craft, and lots of fun on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. on Pansy's Garden. On Sunday at 6:30 p.m. we will have a program from the St. John's the Evangelist Church. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. Please stay tuned for the bandwagon. For This Week in Review, I'm Marie Rose. Good night.